then Lilbow moved out. He had a disruptor drop, 2 disruptors with warp prism speed, and a handful of gateway units, 6 gateways worth of production. And then, Sona moved out with about 20 Zerglings, and he actually saw the warp prism and the Protoss army moving out. He's like, oh damn! So he backed off. Didn't have any spine crawlers, but he did have a handful of Ravagers and Roaches back at home together with Queens. And then Lilbow, with a mostly adept-based army, with a couple of sentries squeezed in, moved up the ramp towards the 3rd base there of Yasonu and got caught in a massive concave. And even though the Disruptors came on in and got some good initial hits at the very start of things, they got back up in the Warp Prism, and as Lilbow went into into phase mode and started warping in, the Queens and some Corrosive Bile focused down the Warp Prism before the warp-in finished. He lost both Disruptors in one go, and that was his powerhouse done. And then more after that, it was basically just Yasonu squeezing out a couple of Roaches here and there, together with the Queens and the remaining Ravagers, slowly pushing Lilbow back. And then in the center of the map, he got the wraparound with the Lings and the Roaches, and that closed out game number 1.
Sick. So I'm setting up the settings and everything, so if it was to crash again, I'll relaunch it right away. And because we're using a feed, we don't really have to use any delay or anything. So if it happens again, it will start within a minute or so.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's good to know. It's like yesterday we didn't really have too many issues. So I'm sad that things have been crashing out, but we can think about that later, because now in the bottom left-hand side, playing for Team Millennium, he finds himself 1 game down in this best of 5. It is going to be none other than Lilbow.
And his opponent in top left-hand side is going to be Yasonu, playing for Invictus Gaming.
And here we are, my friend. Map number 2 here in this series.
Indeed.
That was I mean, we saw what went down there in game number 1, and I think that is going to take a lot of confidence out of Lilbow. I hope that my recap was colourful enough for you guys to be able to imagine that. Imaginary StarCraft 2.
No, it was good, man. It was good. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. I have everything set up now, so if something happens, we can go ASAP. But hopefully that won't be needed. Now, let's jump into this second game and talk a bit about what we can expect, because you and I... Oh, actually, were you with us? Well, did you watch, actually, when Lilbow and IA faced each other the first time in this tournament?
Yeah, man.
So Lilbow tried a lot of Stargate play, like going up to double Stargate, going for the fleet beacon, and IA actually just went straight for Ling drops to counteract it.
Yeah, like it was the slow drops at the very start, right? Or was it the mid-game drops?
Let's see. No, it was the early drops. I think it went up to just 2 bases with like, I don't know, 25 drops.
Yeah, it's like so crazy, because they take the first Overlord and just research drops, and then suddenly Speedlings in your base. That's gonna be one thing to keep your eyes open for, by the way, guys. That first Overlord, you gotta keep him away, kill him. Probably be the best thing to do.
Indeed. I mean, right now we have these plays coming out. We can expect a lot of crazy stuff, and that strategy with the Ling drops is something we've seen a lot in the beta, and a lot of people are complaining about it, because you can now do so early. All you need really is 1 Evo chamber and then upgrading an Overlord. If you as a pros don't cover your base, it's so easy to drop in. So to kind of ruin my own chance on the ladder, I might just give you the tip to always build that pylon on, you know, kind of close to the edge, so you see the Overlord coming.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that from now on.
Crap.
Well, that's
there
one.
Goes my ultimate tournament.
Yeah, well, that's one build out of the window.
It was pretty funny, actually. I was playing my first ultimate. Actually, yeah, my first ultimate tournament. And
wait,
I faced
can I guess? Did you get wrecked
in the finals?
Who did you play?
No one famous, unfortunately. I was hoping for 4GD, but hey.
You know, I have like the sickest story from this little subgroup. If any of you guys were with us from the very start of GPL, I was like talking about AISC a little bit. One of our guys there, who's a Protoss, his name is Daddy, he actually beat 4GG in one of those automated tournaments.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I was like,
It was
like,
a
what?
5-minute game though, so I do expect some cheese.
I guess for GG you won't try to end things quickly.
No.
But nah, I mean it's. I'd say it's kind of from my understanding. I feel it's kind of difficult for Protoss to really do too much in the early game.
I actually got wrecked from.
No, wait, never mind. Marauders have been nerfed. Praise.
Praise be Blizzard. By the way, yeah, he's right now. He's scouting around to see if something's happening, but here comes the first Adept, and the Adept micro is always so important. Something that happened to me so many times on that is pros players going with their Adepts, using that, using their ability really to go in as quickly as possible. The problem is you always need it for escape rather than getting in quickly. So. You never really want to use it aggressively unless you know you can get away with it.
Yeah, it's like if you've seen your opponent, for instance, that he's been droning like crazy, and you know he's not going to have links for a while. Maybe he's like off cycle in terms of the lava inject. That's when you can sort of abuse it, and that's when you can start picking up a lot of drone kills. But as you say, I definitely prefer to see it used in a more defensive manner.
Yeah, because you saw Lilbow trying to get away with it there, but he cancelled it right away because you had like 2 queens right next to it, and there's no way you can get away with that. Now, I like this from Lilbow, by the way. We're going to see... Oh man, can you hear that in the background?
Yeah, no worries.
What is that?
That was a scream of passion.
Yeah,
but
it was like, StarCraft!
so Lilbow is basically just doing a good old-fashioned Soul Train, and he's got 7 gateways off the back of this, but this is gonna get scouted! Yasone sees the Immortals, he knows what's happening with that additional Sentry Warp in. He should definitely be ready for this sort of attack. 10 roaches in production, 1 spine, and +1 melee attacks.
This is a very strong attack though, and using just roaches is not really the way to respond to this, I feel at least. Seen these attacks before, they don't look that big, but of course the Immortals just deal out so much damage. You need those Ravagers, the Spines will buy a bit of time. Now, Yasone is actually going to lose his Overseer, so he's going to be really heavily supply blocked.
Oh!
And he won't build anything for a while.
Yeah, that's really painful. It's like when you're under attack as Zerg, you get supply blocked, it's like you're down and out and then someone comes and stabs you as you're lying on the ground. So, with these Ravagers though, he will be able to break force fields, which is going to be very pivotal for this next upcoming engagement. And the Sentry number's not really ridiculously high. Whoa, a ton of Ravagers being morphed here, Alex. 7 in total, so he's going to go up to a total of 10.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking more and more just like, you know, standard Sentry Mortal, just with so many Stalkers. Here we go, the Ravagers are pretty good at holding these kinds of things. Now, it's all about dodging the shots, and as we see, Yasone and Lilbow are both really good at baiting the shots, and of course, just using a few of them. If you use all of them at the same time, you might lose the game.
Couple of good force fields though, catches 3 Ravagers, they go down right away as a couple of Ravagers swing in from the back. They will take down this War Prism, it's in the red but actually stays alive, and Lilbow right now taking the brunt of the fight to the front door here of Yasone as the natural has been completely sealed off by these force fields. The Immortals still stand as the War Prism at the back, adding in more troops to this fight.
Had he just used 1 more shot from those Ravagers, he would have gone that Warp Prism, but right now, he's just struggling. Without that Warp in, I think he would have held, but now it's getting increasingly difficult. He needs to hold on. These shots might connect. No. Right now, Lilbow is actually going in aggressively. He's going straight onto the Ravagers, and well, I think Lilbow might just have this.
Now, maybe. Has he overextended though? The Immortals still stand, or... I can't even see how many Immortals he has left. He's got 2 standing. A good impact there from the Corrosive Bile, but more Zealot weapons, man. The survival of this War Prism is probably one of the biggest details in this fight, because if that would have gone down, man, like you said, no more reinforcements, and Lilbow would have been effectively isolated.
Yeah, I think that one thing, just 1 more shot from their Ravager, and that would have been it, really. I think he could have held on, but now, yeah, that's way too much. Lilbow just gets all these Stalkers in, all those Stalker weapons before as well with the Zealots, just dealt way too much damage, and these Immortals still survive. That's what I said, they're the brunt of the army. GG, and Lilbow take that game.
Alright, so tying things up with 1-1 now in this best out of 5. I mean, I really want to say that it was more Yasone's mistake in this fight than anything else in not killing that War Prism, because he would have definitely held, especially when he pulled the drones. Imagine if we didn't have those extra 2 cycles of Stalkers and Zealots being warped in, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think also if you do it, if Lilbow moves in, he knows that's it. Like, if I lose this army, I lose the game. So I don't think he would have made the same kind of choices with his army. I think we might have seen somewhat of an attempt to retreat, perhaps even, or just push in. But then you don't have even close to the same amount of units, and then it's much easier for ESONU to actually just break that army. I want to say though, to the defense of ESONU, it is really difficult to know these things, like exactly how many Ravager shots you need for each building and each unit.
Yeah, if you haven't tried it out already.
Yeah, and I also think he might have just used every single shot that wasn't on cooldown, so he might be that as well.
Oh, that's actually true. Because he had 5 Ravagers on the right hand side that attacked that War Prism, so I guess the golden number would be 6 hits.
Yeah, I guess so.
In that case.
Yeah, or maybe one had like on cooldown, so he just spammed it away. Then
Oh yeah. But, I mean, nonetheless, just very unfortunate there for Yasonu. And Lilbow, of course, he was paying good attention there, so did keep it alive. And then after that, he started keeping it at the very rear, behind his army. But we're going to be going into Lerilac Crest here for map 3, Alex.
All right. So let's see who's going to take the third game in this best out of 5, of course. First to 3 will be the winner. Now, we have our first player here in the top right-hand side, playing for Millennium. And his name is going to be Lilbow. There we go.
That was
a bit dirty tricks.
Trying to stole the like
yeah, it's
guys. Yeah, you know,
he's
like
known as Lil Bonaparte.
I want to draw a parallel of that when he moves in on like creep over 90% of the map. It would be like invading Russia in winter. Bad idea.
No.
But we haven't seen that scenario yet. But if Lilbow pulls something really dumb, I'm definitely going to pull that analogy out.
So you never actually introduced IA, so I'm just gonna say we have IA as well.
Oh!
One of the best Zugs in.
Oh! How could I forget?
Yeah, how could you, man? We trusted you. You had one job.
Oh, yeah, well, Yasonu, at least he is the champion of the GPL from last season. And, of course, you know, he qualified into Premier League of WCS Season 3 2015. So you guys, of course, saw him play in NA there in the rounds of 32.
And, of course, this is also the GPL. So if you guys have been watching, he, of course, was the finalist and winner of Season 2, if I remember correctly. No, actually, no, they changed the season. So I think it was Season 3 even, where he just played so amazingly well. No, it was Season 2. I'm still mixing things up.
Yeah, but he faced off against Tudming, who was the in-house champion of China at that point in time. Like, he was the best player in China in terms of statistics and tournament results. And both of them had a very up and down sort of run there through those group stages. When they actually ran into each other during the group stage at one point, where Tudming 2-1'd him, and then Yasonu came back and had his revenge, going 4-3. In those grand finals.
Yeah, I remember that. Wow, it was so fun to watch as well, because Yasonu, I've said this probably like 100 times, but we had Tumi was the best, Shigo was slightly worse, and then you had Yasonu, who was a clear third. Like, he was better than all the other Zergs in the country, but he never beat Tudming, and he sometimes could beat Shigua. But, you know, that year he just exploded, and that's what we see right now. Yasonu is hands down the best Zerg in China, the most active Zerg we see. He's the one who goes to the international tournaments, he's the one who gets the furthest, and he's the one right now facing as Lilbow, and he's the one we might see against Snoot again.
I'm actually going to be as bold as to say I think Yasonu is probably the best player in China as of now. But I mean, that is definitely subject to change, because now with Legacy of the Void and all of that jazz, I think in a short time we're going to see Chinese Protoss thrive in the chaos of an undeveloped metagame. Now, anyway, to talk about the game a little bit, Stargate opening coming out from Lilbow, with Yasonu going for that 3-hatch before pool. So for now, sort of similar scenarios, except that Lilbow is changing up his style a little bit here.
Yeah, I like it from Lilbow. You don't want to just go for the same thing over and over again, because although it's a new expansion, so we don't really have a style that we've decided, at least said this is the strongest there is, you can do nothing but it. Instead, right now, you have to do different things every single game, and I like this from him. Orcus come out, and Yasonu, who just faced Robo, doesn't want to build Spore Crawlers, because when you face anything with Immortals or the kind, you want to save every piece of mineral you can, really.
Yeah, that's a very important thing to point out. Like, this is actually a thing as well, that Protoss comes in with a single Oracle or something like that. They bait 3 or 4 Spore Crawlers, you need at least 1 per base. And any sort of damage they can pick up is, of course, a nice bonus. And then they follow up with a very powerful 2-base all-in, because the Zerg has been forced to focus his economical power more towards anti-air defense and stuff like that, and replenishing drones, etc., etc.
Exactly, it does cost you quite a bit to build these 3 Spore Crawlers. We can't lie, it does cost quite a bit. But you know what? The Orca's coming in here, right above the Spore Crawler, and has to watch out.
Oh!
He's gonna lose that.
Oh, rip.
Oh, that was a sick call though. I told you he's gonna lose it. Not even close.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. 3 drones went down. Not really worth the investment. Oh well, look at this. Lilbow going up to 6 gateways. He's getting the adept upgrade as well. Is that that's shield?
How many gates is that?
So, 1,
8 plus
9. This is 9 gateways in
9
total.
gates?
Yeah.
Dude, I think Lilbow's been talking to Mystery.
Oh my god, yeah, he's...
How can I...
Oh, Yasonu sees this, he sees everything. He gets every single gateway down in terms of count, and he knows exactly what he's up against, so we should see a ton of Spine Crawlers go down for this. He's already got a good number of Ravages out in the field, and this is going to be an Adept-based army. I don't know how well this is going to do, to be honest.
We saw Lilbow in those games that talked about one game just go for almost pure depth, and it's pretty scary. But hey, just your standard 9-gate all-in, right?
Yeah, right. But here we go. Oh, no, I thought it was. No, he didn't use the shades aggressively. He's setting up his proxy pylons here, Alex.
Yeah,
But
I think
6
he
more
used
adepts.
scouts with even. So
Yeah.
So right now we're going to see Lilbow just waiting for that upgrade, and some more adepts just going for those warpins. I would have loved actually to see him use one of those gateways aggressively, so he could get some really quick warpins. But hey, you can't have everything.
No, it's more adepts though. That's the only 19 adepts at this point in time, with a single Stilker. 13 roaches on 8 Ravagers, 5 queens on the field as well. Both of these guys tied evenly in terms of work count. And Lilbow now with all of the investment into the gateways, all of these adepts, no way for him to effectively take a 3rd base. He's soon going to be mining out his main. Yeah. So yeah, he has to make it or break it, Alex.
I don't think he got this though. I mean, that's a lot
He
of
got this.
and that's a lot of roaches as well. It's down to the force fields, I guess, but still with good ravage use, they don't really work that well. We're gonna see though, Yasonu's very well set up for this.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
No. Is he gonna get right on top of this? Yes, he does. He gets. Yeah, he's in the center of everything, man. And these adepts actually doing a ton of damage, but the Ravagers just cleaning house. Some drones being pulled in to assist, but this was just such a one-sided fight. Yeah, that was very uneventful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess Lilbow just doesn't want to go to late game.
Ouch. That's a GG, and that's the 3rd game goes to Yasonu. That almost feels like you have someone in the lower league saying, "Hey, I really like this unit. Let's make an all-in with it." I guess like that kind of build works amazingly if someone tries to go for massling, right? If they try to go for
yeah, like mutas.
I guess, yeah. Like the thing is, the adepts are going to be amazing when you go for anything but Roach Ravager, but when you get Roach Ravager after scouting it really early, there's no way you're gonna break that. Like you saw Lilbow go right on top of the Ravager, something we've seen him do before. Something he feels is the best way, probably, because he's done it so many times now. But never works. Yeah, it didn't work last time, didn't work this time, and you know, I'm gonna go on a limb and say it probably won't work next time either.
No, but you know, judging from how he's been playing every single game, we've seen him take a 3rd base in like 1 or 2 matches, but that's when he finds himself an advantage in the early game because he gets in those disruptor drops because he do good damage. But if that doesn't work out, he just goes for the 2-base all in. I really think he's scared of going up to late game Zerg, because right now Protoss are kind of struggling a little bit. You know, to figure out a good solution to deal with lurkers, with extra armor ultralisks, and all of that stuff. So, from his point of view, I can sort of understand the way he's playing, but he needs to switch up his style, because right now Yasonu is on the verge of course, knocking Lilbow out for good, as well as moving up into those grand finals versus Snoot again. I wonder how Snoot is feeling, you know, like maybe sitting there in the crowd or some places watching these games, and he's like, whoa. Might have to play Yasonu again.
Yeah, no, he's backstage practicing his automated tournaments. You know, he needs those trophies.
Oh man, dude, I saw that if you win, you get the trophy on the right side of your like Nexus point, which is super cool.
Oh
But I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce our first player in the top left, our blue Protoss from Millennium. It is gonna be Lilbow, and he's one game away from elimination.
So either your time was really unfortunate, or I'm a bit behind you. So right now it's 26 seconds. We have Iasonu in the bottom left-hand side, by the way, playing for Invictus Gaming. There we see him.
Yeah, I'm at 40 now, 40. There,
Oh,
bang.
you're good 4 or 5 seconds ahead of me.
Okay. So we're just gonna slow down everything by 4 seconds now for you.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I'm not that slow. I'm gonna just restart the stream real quick, and I
go ahead.
Catching up to you. So right now the time is 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm off by 1 second, but that's it.
Hey, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, we can't be too spoiled here. Iasonu goes for that hatch first. Lilbow, on the other hand, goes for a gateway with a gas, guys. Only two in gas though. So, I mean, my Protoss sense tells me that he wants to perhaps apply some light pressure, but it's Legacy of the Void, so he's probably not going to apply light pressure, man.
No, I mean, the thing is, in Legacy, I feel almost like both in TVZ and ZVP. Like, I can't tell too much from PvT yet because I haven't practiced my Protoss or Town yet, which are both crap. The thing is, in PvZ and ZVT, you don't see too much early game aggression in the terms of what we could see in Hollow Swarm. We don't see, you know, like the first Zealot come out. We see like the first poke with the Adept, maybe a Reaper, so, but you don't see too much. So I like these early expansions, etc. It's only in ZVZ I really feel pressured because some people started going for the 13 gas, 13 pool, which is pretty disgusting, or 13 gas, 12 pool even. And it's kind of the equivalent of the 14-14, but more aggressive and much more quicker against the slow meta game.
Yeah, because I mean, we've seen hatchery firsts. It just looks very similar to how things used to be in terms of CVC from what I've seen.
Yeah, just that now it happens 30 seconds into the game instead of 12.
Yeah, exactly. You just like haven't. Oh man.
Yeah,
I was like,
the thing is,
tripping on words there.
Yeah, no problem. Like the thing is, in Legacy, I think I got to what you mean. The thing is, everything is so much quicker.
Yeah, they've actually removed the 2 minutes you spend droning.
Yes. Oh, and my APM spanning. You know, I lost a lot of APM off this.
Well,
it's my APM's ripped now.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
Saving both.
Yeah, he finds virtually everything he's looking for with these adepts. No gas taken yet for Iasonu, so he's not going to have speed for a little while, but Twilight cancelled right off the bat here for Lilbow. And if we see a Forge go down, saw this yesterday, +1 Blinkstalker all in on 7 gateways. Worked wonders versus Jaedong.
Really?
Yeah, man.
The 2-base version?
Yeah, 2-base version. 7 gates +1, not +2, +1.
That's... Hey, I might just use your attention here, but hey, that's a bit of a... That's a bit of a...
Throwback Tuesday, guys!
Yeah, that's a bit of a Throwback Tuesday, isn't it? Thursday, actually, well... but hey, yeah, that's a bit of a throwback build. I remember you talking about it quite recently. It's gonna be funny if he actually uses it. And now we got Blink on the way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that Forge, man.
Yeah, it's a bit late though, isn't it?
Oh, there's a shark passing overhead on a rocket.
Is there a space shark?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Wow,
Well,
I want to see the space shark. Hey, I think we're not gonna see +1, but I think we might just see I think we might just see a Blink Golden coming out from Lilbow.
Yeah, 3 more gateways on the way.
Well, the others though. Well, I like this pressure, by the way. We don't see too many units coming out from Iasonu. We see Lilbow right now tightening down that Queen. That's a great snipe. It's going to continue with the pressure. Has to watch out though. You don't want to lose too many Stalkers.
Yeah, they're very costly actually to replenish. 50 gas each. So, I mean, if there's not going to be an all-in and we'll see some sort of teching coming out of Lilbow, every 2 Stalkers is 100 gas. That's like 1 Robo lost. But there we are! 5 more gateways, boys!
The 9 gates. Hey, Lilbow is stepping up. Every expansion we've raised by 1 gateway. You know, we submitted to 7 gates. 10 gates!
Oh my god.
It's a 10 gate! Oh my god, no,
10
seriously, don't stop rubbing your hands.
10 gate blink. I was actually like rubbing my hands together.
I
But
could hear it through the microphone. I know what you're thinking.
okay, but so here we go. He's starting to warp in Stalkers now. Blink is soon going to be finishing up shortly. And Lilbow, like, yeah, he just doesn't want to go to late game. He blindly refuses, man.
This is dangerous, though.
Yeah, I guess he's just not confident whatsoever in his ability to deal with the late game Zerg.
Oh, he sees one gateway.
For every gate, like when you're Zerg and you scout Lilbow, for every gate you see, you can just add another 3 blindly in the fog of war somewhere.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Right, 2 Ravages on the way. I don't think this is the right response. If he can save them, one will almost be tied down. Does save them in the end, though. Needs to use the Crucible.
Yeah, it's very important here for this fight. They're actually stuck on the choke, but blinks back at the very last second. If those would have impacted, that would have been absolutely pivotal for Yasonu here in this fight. But there we go. Time has gone down. The Lings with speed still staying back. One of these Ravages actually survives, and an aggressive blink forward means that the Lings can now wrap around and get the isolation, forcing the recall back home. And now Lilbow has to hightail it out of there. A couple of Stalkers still caught out in the middle of the map.
If you guys haven't watched too much, if you just joined into StarCraft or whatever, or haven't watched too much of Lilbow, this is virtually not game ending, but it's amazingly difficult to recall once and then come back and attack again.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Zerg will have a big army then. He's fighting nicely in the choke here, but at the same time, the Ravages really work well in a choke when you have all of your armies stacked up. So he needs to be on point with not overstaying his welcome.
So I'm going to repeat myself. We're going to see Corrosive Bile being used a bit sparingly, and Lilbow trying to dodge it every time and then attack. So you see here, he's going to dodge these shots. He's going to now go for the attack and try to hit the timing where the Corrosive Bile cannot be used. But that's why Yasonu doesn't use all of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's actually super intelligent from him. Because if he pops all of them in one go, then Lilbow can just step forward and start doing some really good damage.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Nice, by the way. Gets the militia core.
Oh. Yes, these 2 spies actually helping out a lot as well. As now Lilbow's Stalkers actually funneling through here very awkwardly. And he's going to be backing off again. He lost 9 Stalkers in this exchange. And Yasonu, very comfortable right now. But you know what? Lilbow is not done.
He's not done. No, sir. He's going to try to get out of that choke. I think, because it's a pretty new map as well, I think Lilbow might feel that, you know, okay, we'll try the choke. It didn't work. Let's just try the other angle. A bit awkward if you ask me, but hey, it might just work. But actually, no, I'm gonna retract that. That's not gonna work whatsoever.
No, the Lings get the massive wraparound in. The Ravages come in to support as well, and there we go. Good impact on these Stalkers. A couple of them falling. Shields have been depleted, and well, I mean, Lilbow right now, he's on his last legs in this tournament, in the GPL International Challenge. The Queens are caught out a little awkwardly here, but of course, with all of these Speedlings and the Ravages, should be able to support them efficiently and force Lilbow back again.
Yeah, really nice micro for Lilbow. Like, he has great micro with his Blink Stalkers. The problem is, of course, that, well, even though you have great micro, you have to have great strategy. In this game, it just didn't work really. He's gonna try something, but he still doesn't have a third base. He's just kiting against Speedlings and Ravages, and well, it's not really what you want to kite against.
I mean, I guess Lilbow is trying to get to that critical number in terms of Stalkers, so you can just slowly start just overwhelming Yasonu here. But yeah, like you said, I don't think it's going to work out. I mean, there's just so much stuff on the field. He's constantly trading off Stalkers, and yeah, this is just looking very grim for Lilbow.
Yeah, he's adding more Stalkers and trying to kill more units. The problem is Yasonu's adding more units than are getting killed, so we'll just see a big army from Yasonu while Lilbow doesn't grow that much. I would like to see a bit more Corrosive Bile to make sure that Lilbow can't poke as much as it is, but hey, now getting into some more details here, I think this is still great play from Yasonu.
Yeah, he's definitely held on very comfortably. I mean, he's got the 3 bases. He's got a lot of minerals backing. He's actually going to commit off a creep here, and this is a fight that Lilbow wants to be taking, because now with no creep, there's going to be the Zagami is going to be much more immobile. But he's forced to back off yet again here. But right now, Lilbow, for the first time there, blinking aggressively, picking off 1 Ravager.
Yeah, he gets the 1 Ravager. Well, actually, to be honest, he's been picking off quite a few units. Yasonu had a bit of downtime there. Like, he has so many resources he's not spending, though. Not sure what's going on. I think he's missing all the injects because he's been using so many queens.
Oh man, that's true.
That's what.
Oh my god, if Lilbow manages to break Iasonu right here, right now, that would actually be a pretty damn big upset at this point, because I think Iasonu, I mean, he had this in the bag. He should not be losing this map, but picking off a couple of Stalkers here and there, every single unit that he kills off is gonna, of course, push him forward in this game. Another blink forward, takes down yet again another queen.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous one. He just barely missed the corrosive barrel there. But I want to see Iasonu use it defensively. Look, he should be using it when the Stalkers are approaching him, not when they're leaving. See how they dodge it every single time? He should be using it now. That's when he's supposed to be using it, when Lilbow gets aggressive, so he can't actually do those moves. That said, though, we see these Ravage pushing back all the Stalkers, and this game more and more difficult for Lilbow.
Yeah, so many of these Stalkers are in the red, as you can see. They've been regenerating those shields, some of them. And I want to point out as well, Iasonu now, he doesn't have any queens at the forefront of his fight, or rather of his army. But instead he's got them back at home at the hatcheries. He remade a couple of queens, and now he can start spending his money, as we can see.
Yeah, I like to see that, you know, even somewhat just getting these roaches out. He has so many resources, and here we go, all these corrosive battle shots coming down. Hits a few of the Stalkers, but that's a lot of Blink Stalkers blinking them forward. That's a dangerous move.
And both of these players, this dance of death, it's just on very thin ice, but Iasonu still, I mean, he's maintaining his composure, and Lilbow is slowly starting to drop further and further down in that supply count.
Yeah, and here we go once again. Lilbow, he's just gonna keep attacking. Corrosive Battle forces the blink away. But yeah, Iasonu is gonna try to catch these Stalkers. Watch out though, he can't be losing these Ravagers.
Lots of damage being dealt, but more roaches stream on in to reinforce. That was a very expensive loss here for Iasonu, but I mean, he's still maintaining himself. Lilbow is mined out in the main base. His natural is starting to run dry, and there's no opportunity for him, of course, to take a third.
Hey, 27 Blink Stalkers to 12 Roaches. Actually, no, he just added the Ravagers, never mind.
Oh, trying to go for the wraparound. A couple of sentries here, actually, so force fields can be very useful at this point. Iasonu has to be so careful to not overextend here. Taking any fight of creep versus Blink Stalkers is not what I'd recommend at this point in time, because, I mean, this is very, very closely fought.
Yeah, I mean, right now Lilbow is just fighting with his last legs, and to be honest, this is looking more and more dire for him.
Yeah, even a couple of sentries added in there, or additional sentries being added in, because he just doesn't have the minerals, but he has more gas. As Iasonu is just dancing on and off with creep all the time, and now a couple of good impacts. Now, oh yeah, catches a Stalker on the right-hand side, and still with these lings, buffering a lot of damage, and just keeping Lilbow back. 154 supply to 100. Yeah, this should be the last fight.
Yeah, and here we go. Lilbow trying to push in once again, and Iasonu just he's getting close to max out at this point almost. He's just pushing Lilbow back over and over again, and as I said before, Lilbow has no mining. What can you really do?
That's it, GG, and Iasonu will make it to the grand finals of the GPL International Challenge here, where he will face off against Snoot. So they will face again here. Snoot taking down Iasonu 3-2 in those winners finals. Will Iasonu have his revenge? Because he's going to be jumping right into best of 7. But Lilbow, I don't know, he's looking rather happy, all things considered.
Yeah, I thought he would be more devastated, but I guess it's a bit of a relief as well when the tournament is finally over and everything's done.
I mean, he gets he's going to get some money. And now he can go back home to France and practice more 2-base all-ins.
I mean, to be honest, going for that Blink Stalker play, I know, like the Adept and then Blink Stalker both were horrible against the style that Iasonu played, but I would like to see the exact same builds against someone like Jadong, perhaps.
Yeah, I want to point one thing out as well. Like, the only approach that you have that is close to the Zug is through that little choke. And that's definitely not where you want to be fighting with those Blink Stalkers, because you just can't get the concave going.
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to blink in either. Something I want to see though, like my one thing that I want to see from Iasonu is when you have that kind of level of micro, where you're especially when you're fighting Blink Stalkers, where both players know what the other player's going to do, and then you just try to avoid each other all the time. I don't want to see those aggressive crochet battles. We saw over and over again, like how we see he pushes Lilbow back, uses crochet battle to force Lilbow to move even further back. Then Lilbow blinks forward, catches a few units, goes back again. I want to see like 2 crochet battles or so, and then use them defensively as
Yeah,
well.
we sort of like staggered the shots.
Yeah, you use them as a blanket defense mechanism almost.
Yeah, as you can see here, by the way, guys, this is what happened there virtually for game 1. He caught up to Lilbow's army and then crushed him. But next up here on Esports 7, out of the GPL, of course, we're going to have Jaedong Flash versus Iasonu and Shana in the Archon Mode Grand Finals. So we will be back with you guys after this break. Remember, stay tuned.
Crawling and falling, but no